Get your whips out for the lads. Vixen by Martech is a game that's pretty well covered here on YouTube, but one I've never actually played, so I'm going to do that today. Game was released in early 1988, most magazines reviewing it April, May, June 88. We'll start off on the Amstrad CPC. The game had this striking artwork featuring page 3 girl Corrine Russell, obviously copying Barbarian, which we know is a fantastic game. And we all know the story behind the cover artwork on that. But seemingly it was seen that sex sells, so here we are. And we're on the Amstrad. And it's Rygar. It's Rygar. It's Rygar. But, and Thundercats. Yes, what you do is you walk from left to right, hitting things with your whip and collecting things and knocking things out of trees to collect fox icons that enable you to turn into a fox and presumably raid bins and poo in people's gardens. Over to the C64. Music on all the versions is by Jazz C. Brooke, and some of the credits of the people who did this game include things like Brian Jack's Superstar Challenge. So at least we've got some music as we go on the 64. There's some relatively nice high-resolution work on the main sprite. So the music does add something. It's not a particularly polished game. Of course, if you play Thundercats, then yeah, you're already seeing even the same thing of the baddies just wandering into the pools of water and spawning from nowhere. And let's remember, Thundercats wasn't a particularly good game. You have to collect the fox icons, which move the thing at the top of the screen along. And when that's maxed out, when you reach the end of the level, you turn into a fox and collect diamonds. The main character in this, and we're on the spectrum there, was an early example of rotoscoping. They got Corrine Russell along to an office, presumably, or a photo studio, videotaped her, and that's how we have the running animation. With the, and I will say this, the animation on her hair is really nice. Let's have a look. There you go. Isn't that nice? But on the other hand, you are some 1980s programmers who are paying a lot of money to have a page 3 girl squat in your office, and clearly all the development budget has gone on that. Or rather, videotaping that. Oh, yes. I mean, even the drowning animation there is the same as Thundercats. Although the main sprite is really nicely animated, everything else is terrible. Badly defined graphics. Your Sinclair had the famous cover of this that resulted them in a complaint from W.H. Smith's, and I think the magazine got put on the top shelf. But, yeah, Your Sinclair previewed this, and that's the famous cover with the pull-out centre spread of Corrine Hollingworth. The actual review issue is rather more low-key. The review, and as we go across the ST, Your Sinclair gave this 6 out of 10 in Your Sinclair 32, and said, if it's thought-provoking compulsiveness you're looking for, then look the other way. Animation on the main character is beautiful. The rest of the graphics stuck. It's important to note that famous Your Sinclair cover that got withdrawn from W.H. Smith's or put on the top shelf is actually the preview issue, and the review issue doesn't have it on the cover, so if you're trying to find that, then you need to look for the preview. I think it's Your Sinclair 30 or 29. Anyway, here we are on the ST with some distinctively looking 8-bit graphics. Again, animation on the main character is good, but it's very identical. All these versions have exactly the same layout and play exactly the same, and have exactly the same lack of detail on all the enemy sprites. Oh, I'm going to fall in the water, and I'm drowning like in Thundercats again. ST version got 61% in the games machine, and they rather fawned over the loading screen, which we can also see here on the Amiga. They said this is what 16-bit graphics need to look like. Anyway, so the Amiga version is a little bit darker. Some people say to me, oh, but it's not darker on a real Amiga. This is a real Amiga, and I've had to turn the brightness up, okay? I sometimes get this on ChinnyVision reviews. Oh, it's not, your emulator's wrong. This is the real Amiga 1200. Oh, and your main sprite has no face. It has a navel, but no face. The Amiga version came out a little bit after all the other versions. And as you can see, clearly the Amiga version is... it's the ST version, isn't it? With some slightly upgraded music, and that's it. I mean, on the Amiga, you're hoping for some kind of copper effect in the background, but no, you have this. I know it's only 1988, but yeah. PC version, running on my Amstrad PC 2086. Some reviews claim this game has sound. My version has none. There's nothing coming out on my beeper. So it is a EGA game. The controls are a little bit worse because of the way the PC keyboard works. So combined kind of diagonals and fire sometimes result in you just falling into the water. There's apparently a really good beeper tune while this is playing, but again, I'm not getting anything. So I don't know what's going on there. I mean, on the PC, these kind of graphics in EGA are slightly more acceptable than they are on the ST and Amiga. Now, the main sprite is tinting grey slightly, but I guess, again, that's the EGA palette. I mean, hey, at least it's not CGA, right? There is actually an EGA version. And it's, the game's called Vixen in some territories as well. Back to the Amstrad. Amstrad Action gave this 65%, and the Games Machine gave the Amstrad version 42%. They said it was an attractive, involving program without offering anything significantly new. They also give the ST version 61%, and the Spectrum 60% C64 version got 61% in the Games Machine. I can't see this game is worth 20% less or 18% less than the Spectrum version, frankly. She has no navel in the Amstrad version. So when you've got enough fox tokens, you turn into a fox. And what you have to do is run through this bonus level and collect all the objects. And you'll collect diamonds, which are underneath some of these objects. Now, the problem is that each of these bonus levels usually has 2 diamonds in it. You need 5. Now, you need 5 to complete the game, except collecting 5 will not complete the game, right? And as soon as you lose a life, you will drop all your diamonds. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to say now the game basically doesn't seem to ever end. And there is an additional bonus down here where you can get an extra whip. So it has twice the power of a standard whip, because some baddies need more than one hit of a whip to kill. There we go, it's 2 diamonds. Corrine Russell did 189 page 3s for The Sun and the Daily Star, and is also the dancer at the start of the James Bond film Octopussy. So, yeah, fun page 3 facts for you there. Didn't check Wikipedia for that at all, honest. By the way, as I'm playing this absolute tripe, I will mention that Nicky of Nicky and Bunty fame will soon have a new computer game out for modern systems. So sadly, I won't be able to play it. But it's called Quantum Witch. Do a Google search on that, because I think it may very well interest people. So that's yeah, Google Quantum Witch, have a look. Again, this poor woman has had to do this in some grubby office in order to be rotoscoped. Can you hear her squat over there and just kind of go back and forth a bit? I mean, that's where all the money for this game went. There's no dev budget. It was all kind of spent on just getting a page 3 girl in for the day and just having her kind of squat in the office. Over to the 64, which has at least decent scrolling and some music. This feels like a game where you've got an engine running in a basic concept. You take it to a publisher and go, we've got this far, do you want to pay us to develop it? But what Martech have actually put out is that kind of tech demo. Because there's nothing to this. There's no end-of-level baddies, there's no kind of real variation. Yeah, it gets harder as it goes on. but all the levels look exactly the same. And I assume the C64 has less frames for animation to save memory. So off we go again. More of the same. A mix of high res and low res, because there's some high res bits in the background. It's just dull. It reminds me of a lot of those Spanish games like Camelot Warriors. And what's the other one that Mastertronic put out, which has the lady falling down, hanging onto a rope or something as the loading screen? Nonamed, where it has nice graphics, but you can't play it. And I've tried to review that for ChinnyVision. It's like, yeah, there's nothing here, is there? There's absolutely nothing here. This is the Fox level on the Spectrum. I think we've gone back a couple of levels from what I've been showing. There are some beeps and tunes on 128K Spectrum. On 48K Spectrum, there is zilch. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. And to think Your Sinclair previewed this game so heavily, and then a couple of issues later have to go, yeah, this is kind of 6 out of 10, and we're probably being generous here. Do I have a score for Crash? I don't. I know Sinclair User gave it something like 7 out of 10. It's no good. It's a classic example. People said Barbarian used sex to sell, but Barbarian was a good game, and the coder and art guy on that had a reason for using Wolf from Gladiators and Maria Whittaker on the cover. They had a vision for their game and how they wanted it to look. This game is just, oh, we've got a really terrible kind of side-scrolling platformer like this, and how can we sell some copies of this game? I know, let's spend a grand hiring a page 3 model for the day and just do a photo shoot with her. And that'll sell it, right? That'll sell it. Because people don't want good games. They just want a page 3 girl on the cover and a big poster of her. That's what Palace did so right with Barbarian. No, Barbarian was a good game. And we've been on the ST for quite a while I've been ranting. So I do like the animation of the hair. The hair is really nice. Did they have a whip in the office as well? There's the thing. I mean, it's quite a hard thing to do, so did they rotoscope that? And we're on the Amiga. Oh, this is an Amiga game. Look at that scrolling on an Amiga. On an Amiga. Oh. Oh, dear. The only thing the Amiga is doing here is playing samples. The other 80% of the hardware power is just sitting there kicking its feet back, going, oh, we're not having to do anything here. Over to the PC. Come to the end of the Fox level. Oh dear. Oh dear. I couldn't find any reviews of the PC version, but I mean, do we need to? And it's how crude the enemies are, especially when that Your Sinclair preview makes such a big thing about all the enemies and how many hits they need and their different patterns of how they move. And no, it's just kind of the same thing over and over again. I keep coming back to Thundercats, but yeah, Thundercats. I mean, this is animated better than Thundercats on the 16-bits. Would I rather play Thundercats? Probably, because it has a nice theme, and at least it's got some link to something, i.e. Thundercats. It's not a good game, but, and actually it's a bit more variety, because, of course, sometimes you go left and right. So is Thundercats a better game? Probably. Certainly on the 8-bits. Onwards we go, and this is the Amstrad CPC version. I played this game for 40 minutes. 40 minutes in the hope there was some kind of ending or some kind of variation. And there's also, on the Amstrad and Spectrum versions, part B and C, depending on if you've got disc or not. You think, oh, it's going to be some variation. No, they just vary the difficulty of the gameplay. You also notice the game gives you loads of lives, because you're going to die a lot. So the programmers have gone, yes, what we do is give you 9 lives, because therefore you'll be able to get further into the game, because our game is so terrible. is the absolute antithesis of Barbarian, and yet on the surface with that packaging, it's the same. Because Barbarian also got, I think I'm right in saying, W.H. Smith also made Martech change the cover of this like they did for Barbarian. In this case, I think they went to just a close-up of her head. With Barbarian, they made Palace take off Maria Whittaker and just have Wolf on the cover, half naked, all bronzed and oiled up, because that won't possibly do anything for anyone. No one. There's no market for oiled up, muscled up men, is there? I can't. No, me neither. I can't think. This is still going on because I played this game on the Amstrad for 40 minutes. There may be an ending to this game, but I don't... Not that I could see on any of the playthroughs. Over to the C64. Oh, dear. It's the way the enemies just fall into the water like they do in Thundercats. There's no ability for them to jump or anything, or move, or do something different, or hang around on the platform. No, they just plummet to their deaths. Back to the Spectrum. It's colourful. I mean, this could be one colour, couldn't it? You've got to look for positives. And the animation's nice, and there's very little sound, even though we're on a 128K machine. And you would have thought, if they got this game working in 48K with no sound, they might have done a better job in 128K. All stage power lost. End of game. It's for the best. It's for the best. Back on the ST for one final look. Just no. How can those enemy graphics be so crude? And the same on the Amiga. It's so... just poor. Just utterly poor. Vixen. A game that goes through your bins and poos in your garden. It is the absolute antithesis of Barbarian. People said Barbarian was all marketing and no substance. Barbarian is a cracking game with, as I said, some fantastic, iconic artwork. Martech just went, what sells games? Page 3 models. And yeah, they've done a nice job rotoscoping her. But that is the limit of it, because this game is no more than a demo you take to a software house to demonstrate your concept is working, and then they give you some money to properly develop it. All the versions are faithful to each other. On some versions you get Part B and Part C that increase difficulty, but that's it. It's not like it's a completely different landscape. It's the same game, but more difficult, because that's value for money, right? It is claimed there is a BBC version of this, by the way. No, there isn't. It was advertised, but no, there's not. The Amstrad version, it's slightly weak in terms of the graphics, but it still plays the same, slightly garish, and not as nice as those Spanish games that are quite similar, like Nonimed. Spectrum, it's colourful, nice animation. C64, animation isn't as good, but it kind of pootles along and it has some nice music. ST and Amiga versions are insulting. They are terrible. I know they're early 16-bit games, but that Amiga version, especially, you've bought an Amiga, the most powerful home computer you can get, with the possible exception of the Archimedes, which was out of reach of most people. And what you get is some terrible ST game that was no good to begin with. The only reason this game is notable is because of that Your Sinclair cover that got banned from W.H. Smith's, and the cover as well of the game that got banned from W.H. Smith's as well. The rest of it is terrible. It is a good example of early rotoscoping work, but that is it. This game is just an empty void, a vacuum. There is nothing to it. There's no gameplay, nothing. There's a million different games you could be playing that are far better than this, even on budget. It's absolute marketing exploitation trash that deserves to be rummaged around by foxes in the dustbins of history.